welcome to the SaaS Revolution Show. I'm your host, Alex Theuma, CEO founder of SaaStock, and delighted to be joined today on the show by Thibaut De Lataillade, who is the Global Vice President of Product at Gartner. Welcome, Thibaut. Hopefully I didn't butcher your surname. I should know it really well by now, but...
yeah, you should, Alex, but I will not try to pronounce yours.
Yeah,
because I will do the same. Yeah, so it's Thibaut De Lataillade, but that's fine.
Okay,
you
very
did
good.
it very well.
Thibaut,
yeah.
Good to see you. It's only been 2 weeks, actually. We were together at SaaStock in Dublin. Gartner were a big partner there. We had a great time. We were sitting back to back at the speaker dinner and had some conversation as well. So it's good to see you again. But obviously now, I think for the first time on the podcast. But those that don't know you, Thibaut, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do? Where are you located? Let's learn a little bit about who you are.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So my name is Thibaut. I am French, as you can guess from my terrible accent. But I've been in Barcelona, and I've been in Barcelona for the last 16 years now. And I've worked in business management, in technology, sales, and marketing for the past decades, probably 3 decades. And now I'm the Global Vice President of Product, Brand, and International Expansion at Gartner Digital Markets. And as you mentioned, we were a platinum sponsor at SaaStock Dublin 2 weeks ago. It was great. It was my third time at SaaStock, and I really enjoyed it. So and I've worked in the software industry for almost 20 years now. After being in strategic consulting, I founded a company that I sold to a software vendor, and I spent some time with them after I joined another SaaS company, California-based startup called Rumby, acquired by SAP in 2016. And that's when I met the GetUp founders. So I guess you know them, Alex. No,
yes.
You met Manu and Christophe.
Yep.
Manu Jaffrin and Christophe Primo. They created GetUp in 2010 in Barcelona, and they developed the company and sold it to Gartner in 2015. And and then I took over as general manager of GetUp in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I joined Gartner, and it was my first year also at SaaStock.
Yeah, I remember well. And GetUp, was that? Obviously, I know Manu and Christophe. Was that one of the first, I'd say, like marketplaces for reviewing SaaS apps globally? I mean, in my mind, it was certainly the one that I remember the first.
So well, it was not the first one. The first one was Capterra, by the way. Capterra, which is also part of Gartner Digital Markets, but Capterra was founded in 1999. So wow. It was now a long time ago.
Yeah.
And and GetUp, I would say, is probably one of the latest created. But now ramp up very quickly as well. So that's
and
success story as well.
Because of the Capterra, GetUp, and I think some others are now under this sort of brand Gartner Digital Markets. Tell us how that came about. You know what it does and why they're all together.
So Gartner Digital Market is a business unit of within Gartner. You probably know Gartner for business and technology insights. Gartner is serving more large corporation, very well known for the Magic Quadrant, but for many other things as well. And so the Gartner Digital Market division or business unit is focusing on technology and small, mid-sized enterprise. Okay, so it's different from the large customers that Gartner is serving. And so, and our mission at Gartner Digital Markets is to empower the organizations to accelerate their growth by embracing and selecting the right technology and services. And so there are 4 brands now in that division. So GetUp, Capterra, Software Advice, which was, by the way, the first one that Gartner acquired. And then last year, we exactly a year ago, we acquired Upcity, which is a US-specific marketplace on services. Yeah.
And in terms of this brand portfolio, then you've got the 4 brands. Why keep 4 brands? Why not have one brand? Which, I mean, obviously you've got the Gartner Digital Markets umbrella, and you've got the 4 brands underneath. Why keep the 4? And yeah, what are the pros and cons of that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the pros is that together we are stronger and we receive more visitors. Now we have the 4 brands together. We have around 100 million visitors that are coming to our sites now, and so in terms of reach on the market, it's always better to have multiple brands for that reason. I mean, the more brands you get, the more visibility you have also on Google SERPs now. Yeah. And so but also these brands are targeting specific markets or specific audience now. And so we have now on the Capterra, for example, we are targeting growth leaders that are looking for, to work smarter, to grow faster, and to embrace change. Everything new. So this is more the Capterra focus and the audience that we are looking at for Capterra. On GetApp is more for functional leaders. Now, functional leaders meaning the let's say the head of marketing or head of sales or IT who want to optimize their work leveraging technology. So someone in marketing, for example, will be looking at specific software in marketing that work well together. Now they are looking at the marketing stack, and so this is a key target for GetApp. And software advice is very different. It's for business leaders in specialized industries, such as medical. Now we have a huge customer base in that vertical, or legal, or construction, or now maybe supply chain. So these are industries that have very specific needs. Obviously, when you are in the medical, the way you are managing your business is very different from what you will do in another industry. And so but all of them, the audience of Capterra, Software Advice, and GetApp, are all looking for software to grow their business.
Like we mentioned at the top of the podcast, Gartner was back at SaaStock this year, sort of like post-COVID. Great to have Gartner back as a partner. Why did you guys attend SaaStock Dublin 2023? Yeah.
Well, we first we like a lot SaaStock to take the pulse of the market. It's a great moment to talk to all the different stakeholders involved. You, of course, but also the VCs, the vendors, the other providers in the industry. So that's interesting to get that. And then after, of course, we want to connect and engage with SaaS companies to understand their challenges. To also to have great discussion on what they are expecting from us, what are also their mission critical priorities that we can help, where we can help them. And so we promote also, of course, Gartner Digital Market platform. And now this year we had we took the opportunity of SaaStock to release the results of a survey that we ran last summer. So we're going to talk more about it, but it's on the why software buyers experience regret. So it's a large survey that included 3,500 respondents globally, from small businesses to quite large ones, from 5 to 10,000 people, up to $1 billion in revenue, and across multiple industries. And so we also made sure that all the respondents to that survey were screened to ensure their involvement in software purchasing decisions. So it was, for us, it was important to attend SaaStock for that as well, to really take these great moments to share with the vendors the result of that survey.
So tell us a little bit more, because I'm very curious about why software buyers experience regret. But obviously, you know, your keynote at SaaStock, you covered this. But tell us a little bit about that. And I guess kind of like how buyers start their journey, and then why do they end up regretting what's happened, you know, at the end?
No, so it's I mean, nothing new there, but buying software is complex. So we identified from the results of the survey that buyers are still finding this journey overwhelming because there is a lot of information available. There are a lot of solutions available as well. You know, in some categories there are several hundreds software that are available, and so it's tough for a buyer to find his way. But so how does it do it? I mean, as you will do probably, Alex, if you are buying something important in your private or business life, you will start with a list. Mm-hmm. So 96% of buyers start with a list. And usually they have 4 brands on that list to start. And what is really amazing is that 89% of the buyers will buy off of that same list. So you can imagine, if you are not on the list at the beginning, I mean, you may, your train will leave without you. So it's super important to be on that list and make sure that, you can be visible there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, makes sense. And then in terms of the regret side of things, like how does that end up? So you see a list, I want to buy a new CRM, there's 10 companies there, I go through, I make a choice, I spend £30,000 a year perhaps on one. Why may I end up sort of regretting that choice, or do many buyers end up regretting that choice?
There are a lot of reasons, but first of all, the result of that survey is that 60% of software buyers experience regret. Mm-hmm. It's super high. 6 out of 10 are not satisfied with what they purchased, and no industry is exempt. It's across all different industries and use cases. But so we identified a few reasons. I mean, product-related reasons and vendor-related reasons. If you look at the product-related reasons, the main result that the respondents shared with us is the cost of ownership, the higher than expected cost of ownership. Then the difficulty in implementing the software and in integrating the software. So it's of course, I mean, there might be also some features related, but these are the main ones. TCO, implementation, integration. And then when we ask about when we look at the result, there were also some vendor-related reasons. The main one being the handoff between sales and implementation, where there is now a mismatch in expectations. And the vendors sometimes are over-promising and under-delivering. And so these are the main reasons that the respondents identified. And obviously, we ask them as well. So what do you do if you're not happy with, or if you regret your purchase? And so most of them, of course, mentioned that they will just select another vendor. And so it's leading for the vendor, it's a loss. Now it's a customer loss.
How important are user reviews in this journey? Because obviously we've seen, I guess, kind of through the platforms that are part of Gartner Digital Markets, and others, that user reviews are now, it seems a very, very big thing, I believe, within the journey. But tell me from your perspective about the importance and what the software companies listening should be thinking about when it comes to user reviews.
Well, user reviews are still the number one source that buyers are using to build their initial list. So the list of 4 products that they will now use during their process. So it's super important. It's critical. They are the top information for all customers, from small, mid-size, even large companies rely on reviews. And the reviews are important, of course, for the information you can get from it, but also from the perspective you can have from your industry, for maybe the company size, or people like you. So we are collecting a lot of reviews on Gartner Digital Market. We have more than 2.2 million now, I think, and we verify all of them because they need to be trusted. The worst thing is when you don't trust a review. So we verify all of them with a thorough qualification process. We have automated checks to avoid fake reviews, and we have a final human check to validate each of them now. So to make sure, again, that reviewers can trust. We have now natural language processing algorithm to identify all the main themes, to be able to get from the reviews the pros and cons, to get the best of the reviews and provide it in a digestible way for buyers. And so it's super important. We also help software vendors collect more reviews. So we have processes to help them collect reviews across, again, industries, across different geographies. We are able to collect reviews and to validate them in 8 languages. And also across different use cases, because one product may have different use cases. So that's super important. And then after, once we have collected the review, validated them, we share on our different platforms. So on Capterra, GetApp, and Software Advice.
Are there like stats that are out there for SaaS companies to say, like, if you have reviews on your company, like you're likely to be your software likely to be bought 10 times more than those that don't have reviews?
So they are stats. The one that that is coming from a survey, by the way, is that 86% of businesses that verified reviews are critical in their purchase now. So that's one which is very important. Yeah. Then we have identified that there is a minimum number of reviews that you should have to be credible now. It depends on categories and country, but now need at least to get 30 reviews now to be credible. It's probably what will happen as well if you go to a restaurant or an hotel. So if you have only 5 or 6 reviews, you may not trust them. So volume matters, and also recency. So if the review is now 2 years old, maybe you won't trust it because the software vendor may have changed the products or evolved in their customer service, and so recency is super important also for that.
Based on your conversations that you had sort of recently at SaaStock, I know you were speaking to lots of founders, lots of buyers of software, lots of SaaS startups. What was the sentiment? What was the feeling that SaaS startups were conveying to you about that they're most worried about at the moment?
Well, so they are, different topics that came from this conversation. And also from the conversation that we have all year long with now thousands of SaaS vendors. So they are, I think that they are seeking support to turn and data and insights to turn their product ideas into comprehensive concepts. So that's one part which is interesting. They really want to understand from the insight that we can share with them if their ideas if there is a fit with the market need.
Yep.
They also want to find cost-effective marketing solutions to help them grow. It's a place where we help them a lot building their brand, but also reaching the audience and get leads in the most cost-effective way. Then, of course, avoiding regret and churn is a key point for most of the SaaS companies, and they want to understand how also we can help them in that. So the result of that survey, for example, is a good way first to now be aware of the situation and identify potential solutions to limit regret and churn.
What are some of those solutions then to limit the regret?
Yeah, well, the first one I would say is to be on the list. Now we said, So be on the list. It's not so easy, obviously. Now you need to, of course, work on the awareness of your solution, but also to collect reviews. Now, if you have the right reviews in the right use case, again, industry, language, whatever, I mean, you are now increasing the chance to be on that list. So that's one part. Then being transparent on the TCO, total cost of ownership. It's something that buyers really identify as a pain point, as I mentioned earlier. And so vendors can help. No, they can help them by providing a good and transparent understanding of the TCO. And I think one of the most important is to help buyers define their goals and outcomes when they buy a software. And this is one of the main reasons why a customer fail in their purchase is because they are not themselves very clear on what they want to achieve now. And so if the software vendor can help them saying, hey, okay, through my solution, you will be able to increase loyalty by X%, or you will be able to reach more users by X% and so on, then you can set specific goals and then help the buyer really understand what he can expect from the software. So it's an important dimension as well. And there is another one that I think is super important, and we can all work on that, is understanding the regret warning signs. No? So the vendors, SaaS companies, all have, unfortunately, some churn now, which is, there are some good or bad reasons for why, customers are churning. But what you need to do is to understand why, and so, and the patterns. And for example, when we looked at the data from our survey, we have identified a few of these warning signs. Like if the team buying the software is from a single non-IT department, they will experience more regret. If the company that is buying the software is spending more than 5 months in the journey, they will also experience more regret than the average. Younger businesses also experience more regrets. And businesses who fail to use comparison sites, like ours, for example, experience as well more regret than the average. So all of that is interesting. It's coming from, again, this survey. But as a company, you can, identify from your own data what are these warning signs.
Makes sense. Thanks for sharing that. And based on where Gartner Digital Markets is now, with your expansion, how will this empower SaaS companies?
Okay, good point. So we are expanding our reach in, of course, every year in more categories, in more products, in services recently. So we have now also service providers listed on Capterra.com. It's mostly for the US. But we are also expanding geographically. And so we started that journey 5 years ago from Barcelona, by the way. And now we have more than 30 countries that we cover with local sites, including Ireland, where we are last for SaaStock. And so we help buyers in these countries to get a more localized experience. And it's very important. So for software buyers, I am French. I prefer to read reviews or content in French now. And it's not only about translation. It's about localizing also the key topics. So there might be some specific regulation. For example, in my country, that are different from the UK or Germany. And so localizing it is really key. It helps the buyer identify the key trends and the most important drivers for their purchase.
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. Let's move. We've got a couple of quick fire questions before we wrap up the show.
Okay.
Thibaut.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
Oh, okay. So I received a lot of advice in my career. So, but the one that I really apply every day is to work on the right things, and great results will follow. It sounds very simple, but it means a lot. I mean, it means every day focusing on what matters and being able to say no to low leverage activities. So I try to organize my day with these low leverage activities that I want to be as minimum as possible. The high leverage activities that are the ones that are bringing the most, so high impact, and the ones that are also mandatory. Mandatory, if I don't do them, I will probably lose my job. If I don't do proper financial reporting, or if I don't meet my budget. But so it's super important. And so it looks super simple to say, but doing it on a daily basis is probably one of the most difficult challenge.
How do you ascertain there then? I mean, it should be sort of obvious, but what are the most important tasks? When you look through these, obviously you've got the mandatory ones, you have low level, and say, okay, these ones I'm categorizing as the most important that I'm going to work on today.
So we have very clear strategic direction for the company. Mm-hmm. So we have our mission statements that we know that I share with you, helping organization grow with technology and services. So everything which is not contributing to that is a low leverage. And so, and then of course we cascade down the objectives across the organization. And so it's quite, I would say, it's very helpful to identify what's important and what's not. So that's the way I do.
Makes sense. Now, so what is your favorite book, business or non-business?
Okay. Yeah. So the one, it's not a new book, it's a book that I think was published more than 20 years ago. It's the Culture Map by Erin Meyer. Mm-hmm. And I like it a lot because and I try to read part of it, regularly, reread. It's very important in a global world to understand the cultural or country differences. And so this book is great because it's mapping, how the different cultures, how they are first, and how you expect them to react in different situations. So there are countries that have a huge, let's say, historical context, and some that have very recent or no historical context. Like for example, Japan is a country with very, of course, long history, and it's and the way people think in Japan is very different, obviously, from the way people think in the US, or in France or in the UK. So understanding that and getting a good mapping is helpful in your day-to-day if you are working in a global environment.
Awesome. I haven't read that one, so I have to add that to the reading list. Thanks for sharing that one. Thibaut, as we wrap it up, where can people find you online if they want to reach out and also learn more about Gartner Digital Markets?
Oh yeah, so LinkedIn is my favorite media for that, and so you can contact me via LinkedIn, send me any message, and I will reply for sure.
Awesome, good stuff. Well, Thibaut, thank you so much for being a great guest on the SaaS Revolution Show today. Great seeing you at SaaStock in Dublin a couple of weeks ago. Great to have you on the podcast now, and looking forward to obviously seeing what's happening over the SaaS in the next 12 months or more. Hopefully things will be picking up a bit of a better year in 2024 for all of us. Less churn, less regret for buyers, more reviews.
Absolutely.
All of the above. But thank you so much for being a great guest on the show.
Well, thanks a lot, Alex, for everything you're doing also for the this great industry.
Thanks.
Thank you.